Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear. Oh, now go with the go so. Yes, men, they kill us every day for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collect it bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
In the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my in the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 This year will never.
Onye si na agata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị iwe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha gaa n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo kwa sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agaghị isi efu ndị iro anyị anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgbọgọwa mgbe mmiri Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebi ka o wee taa akọkọ ikiri ụtọ ọsọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge mmalite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining. We are going to have a very quick evening refreshment, a very quick evening rush. Let us take it and go to some update this evening to touch some very important issues that we have to do. You kind of reminder, we have to keep everyone updated. I welcome everyone that have joined us, wherever you are joining from. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Thank you for joining. Please like and share as you join us on this very quick evening section of our revision. You know, in the evening, we mostly go on informations on the media, updates from the media, most especially the conventional media. And we are going to go straight right on that so that we can be able to carry things along to the level that will be quite understandable to everyone. Our duty is to keep the ball rolling. Our duty is to make sure that the voice of the people is being heard. We'll make sure that we are not shut down. We'll make sure that we continue to speak at every time, at every moment, with any opportunity that we have. We will make sure that our voice is being heard. We will never allow our voice to be silenced. We will never allow the enemies to take our voice and occupy our voice. We will continue to speak as much as we can. At every given opportunity, we will say things the way they are without any political correctness. Now, let's start from here and hear this message.
What if I told you the map of Nigeria, is a lie? They say the arid north is more crowded than the humid south. Impossible. 2006 census, Kano, 9.4 million. Lagos, 9 million. A statistical impossibility. Alaba market, 50,000 merchants, $2 billion turnover. Who are they counting? Commerce proves presence. And presence is population. People lie. But active SIM cards and roaming data, they never lie. Identity systems count the Igbo. Census pretends not to. The Southeast looks empty on paper, but look where the money moves. Lagos consumes 13,000 tons of waste daily. You can't fake trash. If Lagos generates this much waste, the population isn't 9 million, it's 25 December. The only time the ghosts return to the east. Lagos leads NIN enrollment. 13 million registered. Where is Kano's crowd? The census counts people at home, but the Igbo man lives abroad and it's Sabungari Kano. The Igbo
also should never allow them to be our enemies.
They are our enemies. They are our enemies. I don't know if maybe I'm speaking English. They are our enemies. They are our enemies. It's not you that will tell us who our enemy is. Do you understand? They are our enemies. If they are not your enemies, no problem. I'm happy for you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Nigeria is not Federal Republic. You don't represent it. You don't represent the not. You really don't represent common sense. When they were doing kidnapping, we didn't have any moral outreach. We were silent most of the time. I think you and these terrorists need to just pack yourselves, enter a bus or a lorry, and go and build your own country elsewhere. You can't expect people to go. Create your own country, make your rules there, enjoy yourself. Nobody will come here to stress you. That's all I can. Because here, they're busy trying to stay. First of all, what do you mean by they're part of us? Who's family? And why do you keep saying us? Because I don't understand. What does us mean? What is the meaning of us? Who's us? You are who? Them are who? Where? How? They're not part of me. They're not part of my family. I don't know them. I will never know them. We need to clarify. Because I am sure that I am not related to this. I'm not related to them. I don't know about you, but I'm not related to them. Every time Nigeria tries to move, this guy just looks like malaria. It's remember nobody has. Terrorists are around, sneezing, and the minute you hear it, you just rush like one PR manager. Me, I'm going again and buying my money. You're always worried about the feelings, always worried about what's like, always talking about how the decisive actions are immoral. You're not a policy maker. You're not the government. Nigeria is not run by clerics. It is religious. It is run by elected officials. And let's not forget, the soldiers are actually dying in the field. While you're here, going around, justifying what these people are doing. Rest. Rest, please. Please. We're begging you, please, just rest. Because you don't speak for those things, as I said. You don't speak for us. You don't speak for the North. Please, please. I don't want you to do it. You speak as if Nigeria belongs to you personally, and maybe we're tenants in your compound. Because newsflash, we are not. We are not. And at this point, I think that the most patriotic thing for you is to just don't put it. Please, just don't put it. We are tired. We are tired. Nigeria's security strategy is not your WhatsApp group. Cities for hours. It's like you hate our progress. Please. Any time we are information, you just like people. Every time terrorism is mentioned, like overnight people, never with solutions, just to undo all the progress that we have made. Always trying to soften the image of these terrorists and making us look like we're complicit. You're not the conscience of Nigerian Muslims. Nobody elected you. You're not the spokesman. Please. You're not the class prefect. You don't get to frame national security as a religious morality play every time a bomb drops. If you have a real plan, fine. Submit it to the proper channels. If not, please stop freelancing with our national drama because we are tired. On behalf of everybody, like this is on behalf of everybody, from Lagos to Calabar, from Kano to Ekiti, from everywhere. There is a difference between raising concerns and constantly insulting the soul of this like one self-appointed Nigerians, please. We're not looking for endless community that sounds like you're always 1 second away from apologizing for terror. Every time you speak, your contribution seems to blur the line between your condemnation and excuse. The country is bleeding. Soldiers are dying. Communities are suffering under siege as we speak. Most Nigerians we just want to that's all. We're not asking for any please. Just what you're doing right now is not a comedy. It is theatre. And the last time I checked, nobody is buying tickets to watch. If you want a country where you call the shots, go and build one. As I said earlier, pack yourself, enter your go and build your own country because you have no authority here. Stop acting like your opinion is national strategy. If you have nothing constructive to say, please just go quiet. Or go and sue Saudi Arabia in court so that you can enter for Hajj because you have bigger problems. From where I stand, you have bigger problems. Stop pushing narratives that makes the entire Muslim faith and people from the north look like we're all condoning this thing, like we like it. Like you're spoiling the image, you're making us look like we don't want peace, like we're enjoying it. If you can't influence the argument logically, just leave us alone. Because what you're doing now just feels like endless repeat of loop. You're always just saying the same in a million different ways. Today you say it like ABC. Tomorrow you say BCE. Next tomorrow you say CAB. Please. Wallahi, Mungaji. Please. Dan Allah dan Allah dan Allah. Dan Allah. Dan Allah. Dan Allah.
That was a woman from the north challenging Gumi, a woman from the north calling out Gumi. So it is not just those of us from the south, and the world is watching. It is not only us in the south that are outraged at his behavior. That man should be locked up and sent to jail where he belongs, or he should be allowed to go and create his own nation. That is exactly what she's saying. And
died on the spot. You needed to see these bodies. You needed to see where it was, how it happened. I don't even know how he survived that crash. It was he and the driver who survived that ghastly incident. The car was beyond repair. I'm telling you, it didn't look like anybody could have survived that incident. So I don't know, but the families of those who died today will say, please, God just be with them. And now imagine, this is a very popular figure. Imagine all the ordinary Nigerians who die on a daily along that route. And nobody accounts for them, nobody speaks about them, nobody talks about it in the media. We have a dilapidated road, we have poor welfare services. Before any respondent could come on ground, it was Nigerians themselves who tried to help Anthony Joshua out of that vehicle and his escort. That's the vehicle behind him that brought him out. A lot of Nigerian faithfuls had already gathered to help him resuscitate him. They were even praying, please, Anthony Joshua, let nothing happen to you. I don't understand. It's heartbreaking to see what Nigerians go through on a daily basis. On a daily basis. These are the basic amenities we're asking for. This is the kind of orientation we've been asking the government to do, civic responsibility, come down hard on erring Nigerians or any erring civilian. If the government holds themselves responsible, the citizens has no choice but to live up to what the government asks them to live up to. It's so sad. A stationary truck cost us. Now, 2 persons just gone. So we must always thank God every day. We must always thank God every day. In this country, living in this country, surviving in this country is a miracle. You have no idea the kind of miracle it is. So welcome to the evening rush, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to lament because we have quite a lot of issues to discuss today. So if you're joining us for the very first time, we do this audio visual. You can join us on YouTube right about now to virtually be part of the conversation anywhere in the world that you are. You can also share the conversation or the link of the YouTube channel to your friends and family members to join us today while we discuss these issues with Barrister Darlington Agumoy. So how we normally do it, we look at topical issues across Nigeria's social, economic, and political landscape, and I get to just highlight some of these things, and Barrister Darlington Agumoy responds to it. Then obviously you get to give us your reactions or recommendation. 2025 is done. Let's just say in 2 days' time we're entering 2026. According to years of UK politics will now become heated up. But Nigeria has its own challenges that it's trying to navigate. It's challenges of security, economic sustainability, social amenities, and other aspects, including education. These aspects are fundamental to governance. Basically, local government, state government, and the federal government. Nigerians are very used to asking the federal government to actually respond to their issues. Meanwhile, sometimes you forget to ask the state governments that this is your responsibility and how do we handle this, or they expect the president to tell the state governors to be decisive in handling issues that bedevils the lives of Nigerians. Who holds these persons accountable, and how often do they understand that Nigerians are serious whenever they lament? Our institutions that modulate our activities, how effective are they? How many institutions are being sponsored or paid by the federal government or state government? How many one of them are effective, and who is actually asking them for accountability and transparency? So many agencies and parastatals are operating, collecting monies, but they are not remitting anything, not proffering any solutions, not proffering services. A lot of them are redundant and have gone moribund, but they collect monies every end of the month. Nigerians are just literally trying to stay afloat and focus on the aspects that affects them on a daily. Who will call out those individuals that have decided not to be responsible and accountable to the people? We're going to look into that. Meanwhile, Omoyele Sowore recently divulged to us that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sick, and that's why he was flown to Europe. And this has stirred a fresh controversy around some of the declarations that the presidential aspirant in 2023 and also who has expressed his presidential aspiration for 2027 as well, with the declaration he made about the president's state of health. Sowore made the claim on Sunday while he was reacting to news of Tinubu's unexpected departure to Europe. He alleged that the president is managing health challenges and suggested that this was the reason for the abrupt travel. The activist also extended his comments to the leadership of the National Assembly, that's Godswill Akpabio. He claimed that the Senate President Akpabio is practically dying, raising concerns about the health of top political office holders in the country. President Tinubu had been in Lagos State to observe the Christmas and New Year holidays, leaving Nigeria earlier on Sunday. That was not in the itinerary as earlier released by the President's Chief of Staff and announced by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onaniga. And the President's immediate or prompt departure to Europe actually drew a public attention to the short notice and limited prior engagement during the festive period. The President later confirmed that Tinubu had traveled to Europe, and according to an official statement, the President is also expected to proceed to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates for an international engagement. The President is scheduled to attend the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week Summit, and visit is at the invitation of the President of the UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the summit focuses on climate action, energy transition, and sustainable development. Well, we'll talk about that today in the course of the program. Sheikh Gumi has called Nigerians supporting the U.S. airstrikes in the country stupid. He said that anybody supporting the United States of America is literally stupid and do not know what they're talking about. He advised the president to have actually partnered with Turkey and Afghanistan. Now, let's take a listen to this. There's a recent development that we've heard that Turkey is actually one of the major financiers of Boko Haram in Nigeria. We're talking about arms and ammunition being sent to these guys, drones and other advanced weaponry that they have used to perpetrate mayhem in Nigeria. So I would like us to actually take a brief listen to this. It's quite imperative so we understand where we're heading and how truthful some of this information that we have or hear about is. The perception that has been created by a lot of Nigerians concerning the situation with the security apparatus in the country has brought a lot of statements or brought a lot of questions to Nigeria's visibility in the international space and Nigeria's sincerity of purpose and accountability to tackling issues that has bedeviled its citizens. A couple of members have talked about the fact that for Nigerians to understand what transpires in every sphere of life, the government needs to give accountability for what it has taken from them. Until that responsibility has been activated, Nigerians will continue to experience the lackadaisical and nonchalant attitude of the government of the day. And there are talks that if the administration of the day doesn't do the needful as required, that there will be a lot of retrogression in the aspect of security, of life and property, and social welfare. Let's take a listen to this.
A terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is.
This is
An Egyptian television news program says that Turkey is clearly a terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is supplying weapons to the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria. 10 TV host Nashad Al-Delhi reported on a leak confirming an intercepted phone call from a few years back confirming the action. He reported in part, today's leak confirms without a doubt that Erdogan, his state, his government, and his party are transferring weapons from Turkey to, this is a shock, to where you may ask, to Nigeria. And to whom? To the Boko Haram organization. Well, Raymond Ibrahim, a journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and an expert on the Middle East and Islam, joins us now with more on this. Welcome, Raymond.
Hello, Heather.
Are you surprised by this report? What's your take on it?
No, I'm not surprised. And my take on it is that the actual tape that was made that you referenced and you quoted was made apparently in 2014 or 15. And it was reported widely in certain areas in the U.S. and in the West, not so much, and not much came out of it. And the reason, I think, is because Erdogan wasn't didn't have his fingers so much in Islamist politics outside of his own nation. But now that we've seen, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS Islamic State caliph that was killed recently, and he was found just 3 miles from the Turkish border, which is in fact one of the last, or if not the last bastion of jihadi so-called freedom fighters of attacking the Syrian government. It's brought it up again, the fact that everyone is saying, well, look, he's supporting ISIS. So now we're remembering, and that was, I think, the point of the Egyptian show. We're bringing back to see that there's some continuity here. It's not just right next door to Syria, to Turkey, meaning Syria. He's involved with some of the absolute worst Islamic terror groups. Remember, Boko Haram, which its name loosely means Western education is forbidden, haram, was basically doing what ISIS is notorious for years before ISIS. So the whole, head chopping, crucifying, massacres, enslaving women and children, burning people alive. Boko Haram was doing that. And one of the things that international observers have been noticing, especially increasingly, is that their armaments, their weapons are very sophisticated. And it's even spilled into the Fulani tribesmen in Nigeria and in other parts in Africa. For example, I'm sure you know Burkina Faso, also in Western Africa. Attacks on Christians have become horrific. Just in the last few months, there have been so many killed, and always in the context of checking out if they're wearing crosses, if they can say the Islamic Creed or not, and then being butchered and so forth. And those tribesmen, the Fulani, who are essentially living almost on a primitive scale, appear with very advanced weaponry.
Well, that's really interesting, which would kind of seem to perhaps give more weight to this idea that perhaps Turkey is collaborating with Boko Haram. What would the benefit be to...
All right, so yeah, you heard that this report, or will I say estimation, has been since way back in 2015. So why would Sheikh Gumi be advising the Nigerian government to actually partner with Turkey, Afghanistan? These are Islamic countries that we know, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and Hezbollah. These persons operate in all of these regions. Why would Sheikh Gumi be advising the Nigerian government to partner with these guys? We heard that they're the ones supported and providing weapons, to Boko Haram, sophisticated weapons to Boko Haram. Why would he be advising this? Well, we'll look into that in the course of the conversation this evening. And if you had listened to the World News at 6, where we said that banks are now going to be charging 50 naira on electronic money transfers from 10,000 naira and above. Any transaction you make from 10,000 naira and above, you'll be debited 50 naira. But the sender, whoever is sending or transferring that money, will be debited 50,000 naira per 10,000 naira transaction. If you make 10,000 transactions per day, you'll be debited 50 naira. 50 naira will go to the federal government, and also the bank will debit their own 50 naira as well. Meaning, if you go above, let's say 50,000 naira or 40,000 naira for example, the bank will also deduct their own charges from that transaction. So the federal government collects from you, and the bank is also collecting from you. I'm talking about from source. Now, Nigeria is worried about this development. The policy is actually not a new one, but they're reinstating it. They're bringing it back to fruition. While Nigerians are mum over all of this concerning the new tax policy and what it potentially means from the 1st of January 2027, the tax commissioning and all of the indicators will full on commence in that particular regard. Maris Dalito will be giving us his perception, unbiased perception about it. We're going to look at Abubakar Malami, former Attorney General of the Federation, and investigators have linked a bulk of the wealth of Abubakar Malami, the former Attorney General, to a number of sources. Top of the list are the Paris Club refunds made to unpaid loans taken from the Central Bank of Nigeria under the Anchor Borrowers Program and the restitution of the Abacha notes to Nigeria. Remember when I read this at the World News at 6, I had to laugh because as the money was being brought back to Nigeria, it was being relooted by the Attorney General of the Federation. Quite an interesting, would I say, kind of memorandum of understanding this individuals operate in this country to the deficit of Nigeria's development. Malami has been detained by the EFCC ahead of his arraignment before a federal high court in Abuja. Properties estimated at over 200 billion naira have been traced to Malami. The assets are believed to have been acquired when he was Attorney General under former President Muhammadu Buhari from 2015 to 2023. He has denied all allegations in statements by his media team, alleging political persecution and promising to defend himself in court. And well, all of this is ongoing. Malami has insisted that the consultants must be paid from state allocations to be deducted at source. The consultants were engaged by the FG to calculate how much was to be refunded to the state, and they charged a commission in excess of $400 million. This was Malami, as well as, with the allocation at the time when he was involved in the $12 billion from the Federation Post, regardless of how much was owed to the federal, state, and local government, to the creditors. All of this, we're looking into this as well. And anyway, we're going to understand what it portends and how it will affect the polity going forward, considering that Malami seems to be one of the financial powerhouses in the coalition, the ADC. Also, Mr. Peter Obi held an emergency space yesterday where he made a statement that he did not travel all around the world to become anybody's vice. He is running to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But the situation with Peter Obi actually divided the conversation in the politics. Now, please permit me, before obedience begin to lambast. So there are a couple of obedients who really do understand where he stands, despite the conversation he had with them yesterday. They wanted to know specifically, are you full on joining the ADC? These were the pertinent questions he was asked. He was asked about security, and there were talks about the fact that key questions were not directly responded to. He attributed his past, his experiences in trying to respond, and at the end of the day, he did not really respond as how his listeners wanted to. In other words, people had to make out Peter Obi's response to these questions to what he did not say. That was it. Responses were gotten from him, what he did not say. However, he advised that, the obedience can join the ADC. In that particular regard, who knows, maybe by 2026, we'll now get to know precisely the campaign level, where he's running, what party he's running with. He had also said that he is a member of the ADC. He has been a member of that coalition from the onset. So anybody asking him if he's going to join, he said, join what? Something he was already part of from the beginning. He had to clarify that. However, let's take a listen to him in that space where he was clarifying that he was never going to be a vice president to anybody. He did not go and travel all through the states or countries he traveled to become a vice to anyone. So let's take a brief listen to this.
In order to be vice all over the world, to lay out the government, in order to be vice. When people go listen, I'm not to God. I'm going all over the world. I said, Ibrahim followed me with Dr. Mo to Indonesia, and I spent 1 week or 10 days. Even going outside Jakarta to go and see the president.
Now, they tell you that you're saying what is not there, or you're giving something false. I'm sure you heard it already, where he said that the fact is, we are saying we're going to do something, but you can never tell if you're going to be alive to experience that. And a couple of persons are saying, where did he say so? How did he say so? Well, I'm sure you heard it. The space yesterday was impromptu, I think I was during the evening rush and I didn't get any information at all, even from a tweet from Yunus Tanko. It was around 10 or past 10 thereabout that the space actually started, and he actually apologized. He says that Yunus Atanko has been asking him to speak with, his followers to understand the trajectory, because Punch had released earlier yesterday, that Peter Obi is joining the ADC on the 31st, or rather declaring his presidential ambition to be run under the platform of the ADC on the 31st of December 2025. And when we heard that from Punch, obviously the conversation was gone and everyone was talking about it. So obviously the conversation he had yesterday was necessary to clarify. But the question is, did it clarify any doubt? Did he really respond to the questions that a lot of the obedience of the supporters wanted to hear, and other members of the ADC? But he want the obedience to not insult anyone. You can actually accommodate people's differences without having to insult them. I think the idea is, do not insult anyone who is in the ADC, if at all, there are some differences on the timeline. But we're talking about that in the course of the conversation this evening. There is Yeson Wiki and Sheima Hinde in Brookville. If we start breaking that down, I don't even think we'll be done. Our Starlington may not be able to leave the studio, and we may not be able to open the phone lines on time. I have quite a number of briefings from Yeson Wiki's media chat, where he made a couple of statements denying.
Starting at in the face. Turkey was the last standpoint of the jihadists before they entered Europe. It was this man, King James, that called the Crusaders to stop this evil before it happened. And that was why they fought the jihadists to a standstill in Turkey. Turkey was purely a Christian community.
Yeah.
Purely because of the bitter fights that happened there. These guys had to retreat, and the jihadi took over Turkey. And look at what they have done to that place. Good. When Gumi traveled there the other time, did anybody investigate what he went there to do? Did you? Nobody bothered, even though some people knew what he was doing. They left him, but nobody talked about him. This man has been all over the place, instigating and talking and behaving as if this country belongs to him.
Farisa has been talking
No.
Ever since this US strike.
I said, why is he allowed to behave in this manner? Is it not incumbent on President Tinubu to react over it? And then bring me to what I've been saying, that Tinubu is afraid of these people. Esther, President Tinubu is afraid of these people. The signs are there. Don't deceive yourself. Why have you not been so Esther, seriously, as small as I am, if they have given the power of the president of Nigeria, nobody will do this nonsense, and I will allow you. Esther, I swear to you, you can't try it. You can't try it. I will keep you where you belong. But look at the president of Nigeria, what he's doing with this people. Esther, please tell me, have you ever heard or seen Tinubu coming out strong on these people like Donald Trump? Tell me, the day Tinubu came out and make a very strong statement, call on them under them to stop this nonsense before he will deal with them. Have you ever heard it from him? But look at Trump from far away America. You can see the difference. Meanwhile, Shegumi is telling us that those who support, look at the word he used. Anyway, I want to reply him. Those who are equally supporting bandits and terrorists, those who are arming them, those who are bringing arms and ammunition to them, they are more stupid. Yes, they are more stupid, because if you love this country, you will not allow terrorists to be disturbing.
He says that the US is also a terrorist country. Made historical reference points to what happened in Afghanistan, what happened also during the Soviet Union. He also made reference to even the situation with Osama bin Laden, that these are the individuals that caused the war, and these militants eventually lead them and destabilize the region. Made reference to what happened in Libya. So that's what he's saying, that the US are terrorist organizations, so they're a terrorist institution, a terrorist country. How do you partner with a terrorist country? But advocating that Turkey Afghanistan should be the countries that the Nigerian government should deal with. Are we a Muslim nation?
You can see the mindset of these people. Esther, I told you
the mindset of him, not people.
What an Esther. You see these jihadists and their mentality, is a mindset. Except you do with them with force, they will not listen to you. That is why when they were talking of kinetic solution, I said no. You don't deal with whatever kinetic or non kinetic with this type of problem. You don't. They don't hear this type of thing you are telling them. I'm telling this type of people. Why do you think America is up there as the most powerful nation in the whole world? Why do you think so? They don't take prisoner when it comes to this matter. You dare America, they will not only go to war against you, they go against your country. Remember when Mutalab wanted to bomb a Pan Am airline? Obama was already threatening to bomb Nigeria before they sent them messages to him, Abi. They sent a powerful delegation and said, look, this boy, you people trained him. He grew up in America, not Nigeria, so he's equally part of you. Before the man was able to cool down. That is what the country does to protect their people. Here, we bring in terrorists into Nigeria, and we are proud of it, Esther. The people that did it, they are very proud of it. They have been threatening us that we must accept them or else we will not have peace. Esther, please, how do you tolerate this kind of human being? If I make reference to Nnamdi Kanu, they say, what concern? This was exactly what that young man was talking about. How do you live with people who believe in violence 24 hours? Who don't want peace in Nigeria? Who want to take over everything, that even your own property, what belongs to you, they want to take it? Esther, how do you live with such a people, please? Is that what we are going into 2026 with? I will continue to blame Tinubu for not taking charge. Because if you have done the needful, America will not come here to embarrass us in this manner.
He was also afraid. I mean, you saw the security breach. We heard about almost coup that took place. And you can never tell whatever conversation agreement was hard. You remember that woman who came and told us that when she spoke with the president about that, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name. If you know her name, kindly remind me. Where she said that the president did not want to even speak about it, that they could actually kill him. What if that's basically his major concern?
Are you serious? Esther,
sir?
The president of a country is afraid of terrorists in his country, Abi?
Are you not afraid? I mean, something that Buhari could not do. These are his kingsmen.
Are you serious? Oh, they have become so powerful. They are not, so you have accepted that this is the reality for a Nigerian president. Are you serious? But will they accept it? This thing Gumi has been doing all of Esther. What will happen if you arrest Gumi and put him where he belongs for supporting terrorists?
If you recall, way back in 2015, Gumi said that anytime he went to visit the terrorist enclaves, he was accompanied by under Buhari. He was accompanied by the Nigerian military. He didn't go there alone. But when they were designated terrorists, his contract with them ended. So if you are saying that the Nigerian government knew about those guys, they know where they stay, I mean, what do you expect?
So if your contract ended with what you as you want us to believe, what are you now doing with them? Even under Tinubu's presidency, you are still gallivanting, you are still hobnobbing with them. There is no truth in that man, seriously. And because nobody have taken time to put him where he belongs, that's why he's doing all these things. I don't like this president and his approach to matters like this. I don't like it. He told us he's this and that. This is the time you're supposed to show that strategy, that force in you. And under your watch, those lands and property are being wasted. And you are not even talking. Esther, he is not even talking.
But Barrister, they said that the missiles did not literally hit anyone. It was just, massive. I think we heard that a part of the missile struck a particular medical facility in one of the communities in Sokoto. But there are talks that indeed the Lakurawa terrorist group, that is their haven. In fact, that they have begun to dig borehole, what do you call that thing? borehole water in this community. They stay here. The residents know who they are, but they can't say anything. They integrated themselves into the community.
Just like
so
and Black.
exactly, their power base is actually there. This major area where Lakurawa stays. The US not necessarily tell the Nigerian government to share any delicate information with the Nigerian military because of the fear that there have always been leaks when it comes to tactical movement to eviscerate these guys. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Mr. Daniel Bwala told us that it was a shared intelligence between the Nigerian government and the US, although the US were the ones who first of all announced it. So do you think they're sharing intelligence in partnership with Nigeria, giving the US intelligence and guiding them, or there's a discreet measure being taken? Because when it happened, the president was in Lagos.
From what I'm seeing now, I am beginning to think that Donald Trump acted alone. Initially, I never believed it.
Okay.
But why would a foreign country be bombing your own country, and you now decided to move out of that country as the president? First, he left Abuja for Lagos, and started your festival all of a sudden.
He started the festival all of a sudden.
Your festival is celebration of his mother and father. Is that not what they call for that your festival? Something that is unprecedented in the history of that tradition and culture.
Please, if you're Yoruba, kindly send me a WhatsApp message. Let me know if what Barcelona is saying is what it is. Your festival is to celebrate the parents of the president, or is it not a tradition, in Yoruba land? I would like to know, get clarification on that.
Please, Esther, before you even call anybody, we need to interrogate this matter.
Okay.
That festival was constituted to celebrate Tinubu's parents. That was what it's all about.
The festival.
Yes, that was what it was all about, and that is a period where the governor of Lagos State have already started the celebration of 30 December and all that.
Please, I would like to know, I beg, if you know anything.
No, seriously. I told you how big it is, and I keep it close to the ground. That was what that festival is all about. It was announced. It was announced. At the end of the day, Sheyi Tinubu was even the celebrant. The way he was decorated and the way he was, all over the place and all that. And this is an aberration, Esther. Esther, please listen and listen good. This is an aberration because this tradition of Eyo, I know the history. They said it is only for prominent Yoruba sons who have achieved a lot, who have done a lot for the Yoruba. It was never for any woman. Never.
Okay, so hold on. Somebody just sent a message that there is a way of sending the souls of a departed king, high chief, or an illustration of illustrious sons back home, or at the coronation of a new king.
So what
king was being coronated?
That is the question here, Esther. Listen and listen, because you know what I'm going to say this now. For tomorrow. Esther, for tomorrow, listen very well. You see this culture that they are desecrating now in Yoruba land. Let them not bring Igbos here into it later. Because I remember. Listen now. Listen now. I'm talking. Listen. Listen. The other day, Oro came out in the daytime. Two of us. Oro festival. Because if P2B wanted to campaign, they brought it out. Is that not a desecration of a culture? Listen, because when Dr. Hassan, I remember when he wrote a letter here, and he was talking about Igbos desecrating their culture and tradition in Lagos State. And when I came here, I was so angry. I pursued him. Until I could not see him or hear him. Dr. Hassan, he said the one lecturer to you because of marriage or whatever. He brought Igbos into the matter. Now, let us go back to this area. Esther, there is nothing wrong with celebrating your parents. Abi? Anybody can do that. But do you have to do that to desecrate a culture and tradition of a people? Do you have to do that? In the first place, the Tinubu family in Lagos State, they are complicit in this matter. Why are they keeping quiet over this that is going on? Why have they not come to clarify matters so that we know who and who they are celebrating and who is their own family member? Is it not important? They kept quiet, so nobody's talking now. Esther, nobody's talking. Okay, because I remember whenever they mention Oyetayo in Osun State, the next thing you hear is that Tinubu's slavery. Is that not true? For somebody to be nephew to somebody, that means your mother and that person came from the same parents. Is that not true, Esther?
Yes.
Good. So if Oyetayo is Tinubu's nephew, that means they came from Osun State. Or does somebody have two fathers?
It's possible. Yes, somebody had two fathers.
How does that happen?
One biological and another one godfather.
In what way? Please, you have started now. You have started. And so you have to desecrate the culture and tradition, Abi. And your festival have never been used to celebrate any woman in Yoruba land. And so if Madam Tinubu is your mother, let us know how. How did it happen? Is it not proper that you now make this thing clear? For future's sake. Esther, for future's sake, that's what I'm saying.
Let me get proper clarification when we educate ourselves.
Good.
I have always known the Ayo festival as a Yoruba tradition, or a Yoruba traditional outlet, right? But you're telling us that this particular Ayo festival, that it's not the time for it, or that it was just called for to celebrate the person?
Exactly. Wow. It was announced, clearly announced that is what it is meant for.
Oh.
And people are asking questions. But I call on Yoruba elders and holders of tradition and culture. What are you doing?
But you saw that they were beating people that day.
Esther, hold on, Esther, listen. The Ada Onakakanfo, Oba of Lagos, Elebu Ibon of Yoruba land, and all the other traditional title holders, what are they doing about this thing that is happening now? Is it part of your culture that all of a sudden this aberration will be happening and you keep quiet? What if tomorrow comes? Who will you blame? Hold on. If tomorrow comes, who will you blame for this thing that is going on today? If you want to even do it, is it not supposed to be your biological mother, the woman that gave back to you? Let's even assume that yes, you want to celebrate your parents. Are they truly your parents? Yoruba Ronu. Because tomorrow, when this thing will backfire, they will bring Igbos. Since Igbos came to Lagos, they have destroyed our culture and tradition. And that's why you began to support it. Yes, now you say yes, the people say they are very proud.
Where is this coming from?
I have told you, I gave you an example here.
I'll be here to support it.
Because of this thing you are saying now.
What did I say?
You are trying to interject. Listen to me.
Barrister, let's make remarks like this. And no, don't.
Because tomorrow now,
Barrister.
Not those guys in particular. Your people, those people who don't want to hear my voice. I am calling them out now before it happens because I know it will happen. This aberration is the destruction of a culture and tradition of a people. Esther, if you want to do it, why not do with your proper mother and father who gave back to you? What is this disease? Why will it end? The Tinubu family, why can't they come out and tell us the truth about these things? How can you continue to lie from beginning to the end to everybody and Yorubas keep quiet? You brought this fraud on us? Is it wrong that if I say I want to know my president, where he came from another, is it wrong?
No.
Is that an insult?
You're right. You're supposed to know everything about your
Is that an insult? But the people will call and say, it does not matter. It does not matter.
But Barrister, you know, you can't say it's all the Yorubas. They may not.
Why are they not talking? Why would this thing happen? At your festival? For who?
Who says you're not
And Sheyi Tinubu is all over the place. You saw him. You was even the chief celebrant. Please let me talk another thing, Jare. Tomorrow night, because this is like quiet now, tomorrow they find a way to blame the Igbos. Right. They will find a way to blame us for destroying their culture and tradition. They will find a way. They will find a way. Look at how they kept silent. Nobody is interrogating this deceit that has gone on for too long. You lie about everything about you, lie, deceit. What for? But the people concerned, why can't they come out and say, no, this is not our tradition, this is not our culture? They speak out. Esther, please tell me, if this type of thing is coming from somewhere else, will the Lagos Ibadan press or will they accept it? Esther, will they accept it? Tell me the truth. Will they accept it? But now, because it's their own, they kept quiet. Everything they tell us about is okay. We must accept it. We must accept it. Abi? Your festival. Your festival. You can imagine. Destroying everything just because of your own selfish interest. And the elders kept quiet. They are not talking. They are not saying anything. Esther, they are not saying anything. Thank God somebody told you how Eyo is celebrated. Is celebrated. Now it has become an all-commerce affair. Yes, now. Tomorrow, when another person will say, no, it cannot happen. They say, but you did it for somebody. Somebody did it. So what is it? You can see what we are talking about, Esther. This thing that everybody is keeping quiet, everybody is tolerating. It will cause problem. You just a sheep in the daytime. Because when it is night, you may not find it. Let it be on record that we said it, so that tomorrow nobody will come and call our name. Like that Dr. Hassan was talking the other time. Whenever they cause problem for themselves, they look for somebody to blame. That's true of us. True of us. Whenever they cause problem for themselves, they will turn around and blame you for it. And that is why I am saying it now. It is not proper.
Who are the people that went?
It is not proper.
Who are the people that cause problems for themselves and blame you for it?
You don't know the people, Abi. You don't know them. Don't worry. When the time comes, you will know them. Except you are in this Lagos, don't worry yourself. I don't call that people. Let them go and look inward and see this thing that is happening, whether it is proper. The other time it was Oro in a broad daylight. Oro festival that everybody knows when you are
festival, everyone condemned it.
Are you serious?
Meant to be called at that time.
Everyone condemned. After what happened? Did you sanction the people?
Should not be politicized.
Okay, if after Oro happened and you sanctioned it, did you sanction those people? Then why did this one too happen now? Why did it happen? When a festival was going on, and did you notice one thing? There is this culture of using one event to suppress the other. Lagosians were enjoying dirty December until all of a sudden this one came. Is that not true? So, are you in dirty December or Oro Festival now? Tell me, which one are you in? You can say now. This was exactly one of that young man did the other time when we want to celebrate our people who died at Lekki Toll Gate. October 20th. That was when he remembered to fight for Nnamdi Kanu. And I said it is not proper. Let us respect the soul of these people who died on that day. At the end of the day, what came out of it? Esther, people should be very careful with the way they do things. So don't do things that will hurt you later. Don't do things. You say culture and tradition, yet you don't want to uphold it. You don't want to give it the respect you deserve. Esther, is it proper? No, is it proper?
Barrister, you want me to respond?
Because
you shouted me down. So I can't say anything.
So, but let it be on record, though. That's what I'm saying. Let it be on record because I know what is going to happen later. I know. I don't need to be told. There are other things I will follow, but I don't need to say. But I made my point. How can we continue to live in this deceit for God's sake? How? Look at everything. Why are we going to live with this deceit, Esther? And you are wondering why Nigeria is not moving forward.
Okay, so Barrister, I want to understand something. Your bone of contention and the reason for your vituperation right now, this very beautiful evening, is the fact that while Lagosians were enjoying 30th December, the president decided to organize a festival for his son or his mother. Is that the situation?
Yeah,
or it was a resultant effect of that festival where we saw persons being hurt, being beaten for no reason, and it escalated to something else. Which one of them is your bone of contention?
All this you mentioned is an aberration. You don't celebrate your festival for this type of thing. It is for a prominent event, prominent king. Somebody just told you when is done, Esther. Why are you still asking me?
No, I just wanted to understand.
You understand? Somebody told you. Yes, that's why.
You want to understand the definition
yes,
of the
it shouldn't
festival.
have come. It shouldn't have come. When people are enjoying their Christmas festivity and all that, it should have been a separate thing. When something important happened, Esther.
Okay. All right. Barrister Darlington, we're going to take a very short break. And when we return, the evening rush continues. I would implore you to kindly stay with us. Our break is going to be very short.
This is the night. The night destinies shift into greatness. The night we cross from what was into what God has prepared. 2025 was our year of renewed hope. And now we step boldly into 2026. Our year of supernatural work by faith. But we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Join us at Christian Pentecostal Mission International for our 20
walls of history and shouts into the present. That time is not, that voice is the voice of the Igbo people, a people so powerful in spirit, so unbreakable in will, that even the mighty British Empire trembled at the sound of their name. They didn't fear the Igbo because they were
Igbos, are known as very entrepreneurial. There's no community you go to in all the 774 local governments in Nigeria that you will not find an Igbo man doing a business, running a shop. And it's not just running it alone. He has apprentices who are working under him, who will serve that apprenticeship, for 6 years, for 7 years, and at the end of the day, they stand on their own. In fact, it is interesting that even beyond reports, it is a subject of study in Harvard, Harvard University. The Igbo apprenticeship system.
It's the largest business incubator in the world.
There is one Professor Ndubuisi Okeke who says, look, Harvard is looking at it, and there is a major report that is likely to come out at some point in the Harvard Business Review, about this framework. And it's a framework that can be emulated by other communities, by other, entrepreneurs around the world. Igbos are not just doing trading in Nigeria. They are trading across the world. They are trading, across West Africa, adopting the same framework that has become, a great model. And there are many prominent Nigerians, as we have seen in that report, who started from this economics level. However, there's a flip side. The flip side to it, in my view, has to do with the school enrollment figures. There was a time in this country we were worrying about boys' school enrollment figures from the Southeast, because there's no peg in terms of the age at which you join the framework. So you now have a generation of young men from the southeastern part of Nigeria who very early will go to join a master and learn from that master. And then, after a few years, they stand on their own, they create their own wealth, they share prosperity, but at the end of the day, we now found that there was a boy-child education issue in the southeast of Nigeria, because the enrollment figures were going down. And the girl child in the southeast was, in terms of school enrollment, going up. But however, there's this big joke in Nigeria that, okay, the man who has gone to Alaba and Aba to go and be an apprentice, he will now come out and marry a PhD holder and marry, a multiple graduates, and then say, well, I may not have gone to school, but I have money, but I've used my money to get my wife to MOSC. Okay, that's the only challenge there. But the bigger side of it is the values which came out of that. Values about communalism, values about loyalty, values about street wisdom, values about, learning how to survive and developing individual capacity in an informal system. And, we're not surprised that this is a major subject of study in business schools,
from Lagos to Harvard.
Yeah, but you made this point about the boy education issue, but I do wish that girls and women would be trained in this manner as well, because that entrepreneurial spirit is present in women as well. It's not the exclusive preserve of the male.
It's a very, very valid point made there, Tunde. We all know this. We cannot celebrate it enough. It's a good model for all of us. And it's something we should all learn from. I think something that's quite instructive here is this. It gets way back. It goes back to the time of the Nnewi Youth League. And I keep talking about the Nnewi Youth League a lot. The Nnewi Youth League was set up by Ojukwo's father and some other people out of Nnewi to be able to further a system like this that had been around even much earlier. So what they did was to create a scheme where young boys were given capital to be able to set up business after mentoring them and helping them go through the ladder. And like you said, Nigeria is replete with people that went through the system. The Chikasin, the Gabros, the Innocents of this world, all of them started as traders and then they scaled up the ranks. And some of them have become multinationals and big businesses today. And secondly, another very instructive thing about this system is the fact that it gives shared empowerment. We keep talking about 33% unemployment rate in this country. We keep talking about a high level of poverty, but it gives shared empowerment across board. In a system that when you go through it, you have a freedom ceremony and the person gives you a seed capital. So it's pretty much like any other business. You go through a mentorship system, they give you a seed capital to set up, and also they give you credit capital because obviously for every trading business, you need buyer's credit out there, and they set you up and they monitor you. And the good thing about it is the pass-on mechanism, the fact that you have to pass it on to other people too and help them grow. And that's why you can see we can build a great chain of wealth, and it's rife in the eastern part of the country. I mean, unemployment rate in places like Anambra, you see, is low. Why? Because of entrepreneurship systems like this. If a lot of Igbo people lost their money after the Civil War, and this system has been able to help bridge the gap, it just shows you that there's a method to the madness of money, and entrepreneurship and apprenticeship is the way to go. Dr. Abati, I love university education, but I don't believe in it. I believe in apprenticeship system for a lot of young people to be able to help them get up the ladder. Yeah, you can get a university degree, yeah, but apprenticeship system too is also important.
The Igbo is the only tribe that practically believes in one Nigeria. We develop any land where we step our feet. We met swamps in Amuwodofin and Lekki. We legally purchased them and sandfilled them into paradise with our own sweat. Igbo traders took neglected districts and turned them into global commercial hubs. Alaba alone generates $2 billion annually. We pay the formal taxes, but we also pay the shadow tax. The agro economy extracts 123 billion naira every year. Land use charge, wharf landing fees, consumption tax. We funded the very system that was secretly sharpening its knife. They are the engine of Lagos. The informal sector contributes 40% of the state's revenue. That engine is fueled by Igbo capital. We built massive estates and plazas, unaware that a hidden agenda was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Igbo nurses in Texas, doctors in London, they poured their hard-earned dollars into Lagos, believing it was the safest vault for their wealth. 2015 was the signal. The rhetoric changed from development partners to strangers who must be contained.
It started in Oshodi. They came at night. 500 traders displaced. Billions in goods destroyed. No compensation. Abule Egba. The excuse is always urban renewal, but the target is always the same. Igbo Alaba Rago. They called it a security threat. We called it economic cleansing. Thousands of shops gone. They dared to touch the heart. Alaba International, 17 plazas marked distress. Valentine's Day 2025, trading plazas leveled overnight. No warning, just rubble and heartbreak. October 12, Pestac. While we prayed, bulldozers struck. Shops destroyed during worship. A cruel ambush. Even the biggest were not spared. Landmark Beach, $200 million razed to the ground. In 2025, Lekki Phase 1, bulldozers tore down 80% Igbo-owned homes. Our diaspora dreams shattered. This was not just demolition. It was a statement, a warning sent across oceans. Wind homes built with diaspora capital began to fall one morning. No notice, no warning, just machines tearing into foundation. This was not just a demolition. It was a message to every Igbo abroad. Your investment can be swept away in hours. December 2025, 20 mansions marked for demolition. Families left homeless. The message, you don't belong. Look at the map. The bulldozers don't roam Lagos. They hunt one people, one economy zone with chilling precision. We paid the families. We bought the land legally. But when it gained value, they rewrote the rules, brought their bulldozer and took things back. Drainage, right-of-way, master plan. The excuses shift daily, but the outcome never changes. Igbo destruction. From swamp to city you built. And this is your reward. Erasure, seizure, and a humiliation carved into the land. Injustice isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in the silence of broken shops, breathing. It is not just destruction. It is the injustice, the selective enforcement. Through untouched buildings beside shattered dreams. A clear message. Your progress is a threat. We thought we were building Nigeria. We were building a house on another man's land. Hey. The message is clear. You do not belong here. The hidden agenda is no longer hidden. It is to cripple our commerce, seize our real estate, and lord over our legacy. It's time to turn off the tap. No more billions into the swamp. No more estates for the bulldozers. Why continue to water a garden that produces only thorns? Why build where your children cannot inherit? The era of naive investment is over. The era of strategic retreat has begun. We have the capital. We have the skills. We have the people. What we needed was a lesson, and we have learned it. Imagine if those billions wasted in Lagos were poured into our own soil. We are not just leaving, we are launching. A new economic engine is about to roar to life. That is not a dream. That is the plan. Get ready for part 4, the blueprint. It's time to bring the wealth home. Akuro Ulo. The engine was stolen.